All right, 2.2 notes. This is going to be part 1. We'll do part 2 on Monday. So in 2.1, we talked about graphing quadratic functions, so parabolas. In 2.2, we're going to graph polynomial functions, so it's going to be more than just parabolas. Our graph of polynomial functions are always going to be two things. They're always going to be continuous, so meaning that there's no gaps in it. So for example, A at the bottom is continuous, but B is not continuous. So this would not be a graph of a polynomial function. It's always going to be continuous. That's one thing. And then it's always going to have smooth round turns. So it's always going to be smooth. So two things. Continuous and smooth. So this would be an example of a smooth graph. It's got round turns on the next page. This is an example of not a smooth graph. So this would not be a polynomial graph because it's got a sharp turn. It's got a sharp edge. It's not a polynomial. So we kind of mentioned it yesterday, or I guess the day before. In 2.1, polynomial. Poly means many. So we're going to have many terms here. So it's going to be more than just an x squared. We'll have x cubed, x to the 4th power, just higher degree functions. Now, depending on what our highest degree of our function is, our graph starts and ends differently. If our graph is even, so if our highest degree is an even exponent, then the end behavior of our graph is going to go either up and up or down and down. They go in the same direction. If our highest degree is odd, they're going to go in opposite directions. So if it's positive and odd, it starts by going down and ends by going up. So if you think about it as like slope, if it's positive, our line's going to be increasing. So if we start at the bottom, start at the left and go to the right, just like how we read sentences, our line here is increasing. If it's negative and odd, we start by going up and end by going down. So here, if we connected our lines, it'd be decreasing. So these two are if it's positive. So if our leading coefficient is positive, these two would be if our leading coefficient is negative. So here we want to kind of think about our transformations a little bit. So our parent function of an x cubed graph looks like this. This would be just our basic x to the 3rd power graph. Now, if we have a negative outside of our x cubed graph, what do you think that does to our graph? What type of transformation happens? It flips. It flips. We have a reflection. So instead of having an increasing slope, we're going to flip it, and it's now going to be a decreasing slope since it's negative. What do you think adding 1 to the outside does to our graph? Which direction does that move our graph? Up 1. Awesome. So we take our parent function, instead of starting at 0, 0, we're now just going to shift it up 1, and it's going to curve through there. And then lastly, subtracting 1 on the inside moves it which way? Right. Awesome. Right 1. So instead of going through 0, 0, it's positive, so it keeps the same shape, but we're just going to move it to the right one. So we shift everything to the right one. So So our graph would look like that. So these are kind of just a rough sketch of our graph, but it just kind of helps you understand how your graph can shift and move and flip. Next page talks a little bit more about the leading coefficient test. So that's our end behavior of our graph. When n is odd, so when we have a odd exponent, so something like x cubed or x to the 5th power, x to the 7th power, whatever it may be, our end behavior of our graph is going to go in opposite directions. If it is positive, so if our leading coefficient is positive, our graph falls to the left and rises right. If our leading coefficient is negative, it's the opposite. So it rises left and falls right. So I would always suggest, because I think that it's easier, draw the arrows and then figure out if it falls left, rises right, whatever it may be. So draw the arrows first, and then if your right arrow's going down, it's going to fall right. So draw the arrows, then put the words with it. Sometimes people will get the words mixed up. Just draw the arrows and you can figure out which one's which. But if it's positive, your overall slope of the graph is going to be increasing. If it's negative, your overall slope of the graph is going to be decreasing. Your line or your graph here will be decreasing. Any questions? All right, next we have when it's even. So this would be for an x squared graph or x to the 4th power or x to the 6th power. If our exponent is even, our end behavior is going to go in the same direction. So you can think about it as like x squared we know is a parabola where our arrows either both point up or both point down. They go in the same direction. So if it is positive, if our leading coefficient is positive, our arrows are going to go up. So it would rise right, or rise left here, and rise right. If our leading coefficient is negative, it's going to fall left and right. So falls left and falls right. So this is just our end behavior of the graph. What happens in between these arrows, so like the dotted lines that they have here, is different depending on what our function is. But we can always determine what our end behavior is, what the graph is going to start and end like, just by looking at our leading term. So the term with the highest degree. So in example 2, it says use the leading coefficient test to describe the right and left-hand behaviors of the graph. So in our first example, we're looking at our highest degree terms. That is negative x to the 3rd power. If it's x to the 3rd power, is our exponent even or odd? Odd. So are they going to go in the same direction or opposite directions? Opposite directions. And if it's negative, our leading coefficient's negative, what does that tell us? What's the left arrow going to do? The left arrow is going to go up and the right arrow goes down. So our overall slope would be decreasing because it's negative. So if we put words to this, we would say rises left and falls right. Let's look at example 1 down below. We're looking at our highest degree terms, that is negative 3x to the 12th power. So the 12th power, is it even or odd? Even. So does that tell us they're going to go in the same direction or opposite directions? Same direction. And our leading coefficient is negative. So are they both going to go up or both go down? Both go down. So we'd say falls You could say left and right. Or if you want to, you could say falls left and falls right. Let's look at number 2. Our highest degree term is negative 5x to the 9th power. 9 is even or odd? Odd. 9 is odd. So are they going to go in the same direction or opposite directions? Opposite. Our leading coefficient's negative. So how's our graph going to start? What's the left arrow going to do? Rise. Left arrow goes up, the right arrow goes down. So since it's a negative leading coefficient, your overall slope of your line is going to be decreasing. So it starts going up, ends going down. So we would say rises left and falls right. Last one, number 3. Which term are we looking at here? Emma, what term are we looking at here?
4.
Which one?
What term?
Yeah.
4x squared.
What's our highest degree term here?
Oh, 5x to the 7th.
5x to the 7th power. So this is what we're looking at. So everything else does not matter. You're only looking at the highest degree. So 7, is it even or odd? 7 is odd. So did they go in the same direction or opposite directions? Opposite. And 5 is positive. So what does that tell us? How's our line going to start? Starts going down and then ends going up. The overall slope of our line is going to be increasing since it's positive. So we would say, Diana, how would I put this in words?
Rises right and falls left.
Awesome. Rises right and falls left. All right, so next we're going to find the real zeros of a polynomial. So when we find the zeros, we're changing y to be 0 and we're solving for x. So we're going to be solving for x. We're going to get x equals some number. So finding the zeros is the same thing as finding the solution. It's similar to finding factors, but factors we would just have to solve completely. And zeros or solutions are also the x-intercepts of our graph. Whatever we get for x equals, that's where our graph is going to cross the x-axis. So they're x-intercepts. So zeros, solutions, factors, x-intercepts, they are all asking for the same thing. So in example 4, we want to find the zeros. So we're going to solve. We change f of x to be 0, and we're going to solve for x. What would I do first to solve here? What do you think?
GCF.
Take out the GCF. Awesome. Since our GCF isn't a variable, it's an x, we got to leave it out front. So we have 0 is equal to x. We're going to divide everything by x. We're left with x squared minus x minus 2. What would we do next? We want to factor. What are 2 factors of -2 that add to -1? -2 and 1. So we have x minus 2 and x plus 1 and x. What would we do next? Set them all equal to 0. Don't forget, x is equal to 0. There was a question similar to this one on the test. I don't know if it was on your guys' version or not, but a lot of people forgot about that x equals 0. So they missed out on one of the answers. So we have x equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, and x plus 1 equals 0. So x is equal to 0, x is equal to what? 2 and -1. So those are 3 zeros. If we were to put this on a graph, our x-intercepts would be at 0, 2, and -1. Let's just go ahead and graph it for fun. Let's do the rest of it. So to figure out what happens, where our graph goes, we know where we cross the x-axis, but we need to figure out the lines in between them. We need to connect the dots. So we're going to look for our end behavior. Got to look at our leading coefficient. So is our exponent here even or odd? Odd. 3 is an odd number, which means that we go in opposite directions. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Our leading coefficient's positive. It's 1, so it would be positive. Positive means that we have a increasing slope. So we start by going down and end by going up. So the end behavior, those arrows that I just drew, the left arrow is going down. So out of my point farthest to the left, I put an arrow that goes down. My right arrow is going up. So out of my point farthest to the right, I put an arrow that goes up. We're going to talk about what happens in between the points in the next couple slides, but you just connect the dots. So here our graph just goes through the points.